Hello, welcome everyone. Gonna have us a little RC project. What we have here is a body. This one is a pre-cut actually, so it's a little bit of a helping start. It's a pre-cut body by Traxxas, and this is a Mustang. So hopefully we don't have any Mustang haters in here. But anyways, when you get pre-cut, you get holes, front and rear. Got some pre-drilled holes, and your wheel wells are cut out, which are the only nightmare that I think of RC modeling is cutting the wheel wells. That is tough. I think they do have a separate tool for that. I haven't found one, but if I do find one, I'm gonna check that out one day. So we have some decals. So with this body, I did have plans of putting a light kit in it, so that's going to require some some additional modification we might have to do to the headlights and the tail lights, maybe the fogs down low, we'll see. But some colors we got some red. Look at that pretty red. It's a nice metallic red. You have to get the paint that's for the clear bodies. For some reason, not every paint, well, I guess obvious reasons, not every paint is designed for this. It will have chemical reactions with the body. So I highly recommend, don't just say, oh, I'm trying to take a cheap option here, and you get some, Home Depot or Lowe's knockoff paint for painting bodies to plastic. I've tried it before, and the paint has a chemical reaction to this type of plastic. It like makes it so brittle, and it'll just shatter. It'll just completely shatter and break. It's a nightmare. Other situations I've had too, it'll just flake off, so it won't adhere to it. And I've waited days for it to cure. Yes, to cure to the plastic, and it won't work. Certain paints you can only put on certain temperatures. So it was recommendation of this paint to go on this body around 70 degrees. Guess what? It's that temperature today outside. So I'm going to paint outside, but we got to do some prep work. So even though it's in plastic here, you still want to wash your body. It's going to be dirty. You want a dirty body. You got to wash your body, and then you have to apply the masking to the windows. So I'm going to do that off camera, and I'll be back to show you what it looks like masked up. Oh, if you want to do additional designs too, you're going to have to get creative with tape. Some people get pretty good with painter's tape, and they do some crazy designs on it. I think I'm just going to stick to what I have here, and I'm going to kind of keep it simple. I think the most complicated part I might be the light kit that I put in it. Maybe we'll run some speakers later. I don't know. Anyways, I'll come back for the masking part. Okay, we're all taped up. I had to use some additional frog tape to do the center line right here. Just thought that would be neat to set it off. So it's all masked up. What's important when you're doing these lines here, you have to make sure that this tape is seated all the way down flush. If you have any gaps right here when you're spraying, the paint will run under it and it'll ruin your line, so you won't have a tight line there. Another helpful hint, because I want to do light buckets in a light kit, I took the decals from the exterior and just inverted their position on the inside, because you spray the inside of the body. So that is masking where my lights are, the headlights and fog lights. This unit didn't come with masking pieces to do that, so I had to adapt a little bit of innovation right there. And I just inverted the lights to cover the inside so paint doesn't apply on them, and then they will be clear so I can do light buckets later and wire it up. So there's the rear window, sides, front window. This masking material that came with the Traxxas is more like the traditional painter's tape. Usual masking tape that comes from like the, what's it, Protoline or Photoline cars. It's like a almost like a vinyl that goes on, and it can be a little difficult to work. Sometimes you get bubbles. This is a little painful to get on if you put it on the wrong corners to work it. However, it molds better to the corners. It's the material sits flatter into the creases of the body better. And that is very important so you don't have paint running under that. See, I just used my nail and actually using my nail and a quarter to press those lines down firmly so I don't have any paint running under that. See that right there? I gotta re-push that because paint will get under that and it'll run under the line. So just take my nail like this and work it down flush. That actually is completely flush now. See that? So I like to let this sit for a little bit and then paint, because if you just start painting, you don't know if the if the tape will rise while you're painting, and then it'll seep and then you can't pick it up, so you're in a pickle. So I like to tape it up like this, let it sit for a while to make sure that the the tape is sitting flush in all the pieces. See the front bumper right there? Very important, it's flush with that. The paint will get between the tape and the body and it'll just be a mess. So I like to let it sit for a little bit. Patience is key whenever you're doing bodies when it comes to painting, prepping, everything. Yes, I left this tail on here on purpose, so when it's when it's painted and it's drying, I have something to work with. I'm just going to pull it up from here and then I'll go underneath the body, removing that. I'm going to do black for the center line, which will also be my backer. So the backer will be the same color as the striping material here. All right, I'll come back on for a little bit later for the paint work. All right, got the finished painted body on a slab right here. So the clear wrapper has been removed. That's why I have the shiny gloss, and it was painted metallic red. The masking and the lights worked just as planned. See that? Perfect. Ready for light buckets to be installed. That is a decal of the upper and lower grille. There's a decal of the 5.0. And the tinted windows are also decals. This kit, you can tell from the pictures, there's a rear clip right here. It had to be painted separate. And that was because some of the 2.0 Vortex and the 3.0 have a dragster model, and the rear is left open for a stretched wheelie bar. So we're going to be putting this on a drift car or show car, so we don't need that. So I painted the rear clip area. Look at that. Those taillights came out perfect. Might have to clean them up a tiny bit if I want to be super picky. You can use a Q-tip and clean that up with a little bit of chemical. But it came out perfect. Check that out. Nice metallic red. All right. That's it for now. And that's how we do the clean body. So I just wanted to make a video on the clean body on some tips how to do that. So this is the Traxxas. Well, look, my hands are super dirty from painting. This is the Traxxas pre-cut body. Wheel wells were cut out and it has drilled holes. They're also in the back, but I have to punch through because I put the tinted window decal on it. My only complaint of this was there are some areas the tinted window decals were really hard to work with. They did not fit perfectly from the masking transition. So when you mask the vehicle and then paint it and then remove the masks, it's not a perfect fit from the mask, paint, and then to the decal. I don't know what other complaints I had. I think the hardest area to work was this front stripe here in the grill. That was, until I have an imperfection right there. This was the hardest area to work because I had the most curves to work with from the painter's tape. I probably could have triple layered it or cut it and then did additional layers to cover the seams, but that was pretty hard. I didn't. You never get a perfect one, I guess, but that was the only spot that came out imperfect. I do like that rear clip coming apart like that. If you want to if you want a drag car or a drift car, that is pretty neat. I like that. It's a mini Allen right here. There's a bolt on the other side, so you can actually you can have it both ways and just detach it if you want later. But I really like the way that came out. I might do some other custom decals later, but like I said, this is going to go on a drift car. I'm going to do light buckets at some point. I already have a speaker that I can put in it. I figured that out on my Skyline. I have a Bluetooth speaker that I'm going to wire to it, and it's going to be pretty. I've got to get some American wheels though. All the wheels I have are JDM wheels or European wheels. So gotta get some American style rims. But I'm very satisfied how this came out. Some tips of painting. You do want to hold that can approximately 10 to 12 inches away from spraying your body here. The photos that I put up before, you could tell that was different coats. So I did a series of, I think it was maybe five or six, maybe six total applications of just spraying it, letting it set, spraying it, letting it sit, so I could get those dry periods on there. And that really helps the paint come together because you're not coating it, it's not running. When you get impatient with these things, that's when you get problems. And then I use the black as the stripe, the racing stripe color, and also as the backer. It really does help pop the color. There's some light smears here. That's on the outside because I didn't wipe it down. I didn't wipe down the outside. This is, whoop, sorry. This is exactly as I just finished this car. So I didn't wipe down the outside or detail it up. But yeah, the backer is the same color as the stripe, and I highly recommend you do backers. Darker reds like this, you want to do, I've had better luck with the black backers. When you get to lighter colors like yellow and white, of course, you want a white backer to help support your color. I don't know, I guess that's kind of preference of trial and error, but I think that came out really nice. That's the first Mustang American body I've done. I've always done Japanese cars or European cars. So Beamers, Audis, Volkswagens, Skylines, you know, cool stuff like that. But this is my first American body, and I'm very happy with it. It came out nice. The door handle decals were perfect. So, all right, maybe I'll do a video of fitting it on the car later, maybe some drifting, but that's it. Hope you enjoyed the video. Hope I didn't bore you too much. Signing out.